Hello, fellow wargamers and history buffs. Today we have an unboxing of La Bataille de Eggmuhl from Marshal Enterprises. This just came out and was shipped out to everybody here in mid-October. And so we're going to take a look at it and see what the components are and all that good stuff. So it comes in the standard sort of box that Marshal Enterprises have been using for a while, with the embossed front and then the number indicating your particular one of 400 copies that have been out. They've got some information here on where you can go to download the rules and the information. They have like a flip book that they use that's got the terrain charts and everything else, as well as scenarios and everything else. So usually that's a couple, 100 to 150 pages of material. So instead of printing that, you can then download it. Looks like we've got a combat chart here, fire combat and melee combat. So this is pretty standard type of thing that Marshal's been putting out with all their games. We've got the turn sequence chart here, as well as the timekeeping time track. And then here we've got the order of battle chart for the Austrians. This is going to give you a chance to set up everything for the scenarios or for the big battles. And then here we've got something similar for the French. So it's in full color, so that should make it a little bit easier to set everything up. And it looks like they also have, the stuff here for the Battle of Ryzen that's in this game as well. All right, and now we get to the counters. So pretty much standard with the glossy finish on them. We've got, it looks like a series of French and their allies here on this particular sheet. Additional French and Polish and various and sundry allies, and some informational markers here. All right, over here we've got some Austrians, it looks like, and some other informational markers. And on the back, the details about morale, etc. All right. And more Austrians. And then we've got some hit markers and square markers, disordered route markers, etc. So there's 1, 2 sheets of those. Okay. All right, and now we get to the maps. So let's take a look at this one here. First one off. This looks like this is, what is this for? Oh, this must be for Ryzen. Yep. So we'll take a look at this in some more detail. So this is the Battle of Ryzen. And then this must be one of the maps for Eggmuhl. And here is another map for Eggmuhl. And then finally, they've got a map for the little Cavalry Battle. Okay, we'll look at each of the maps one by one in some detail. Okay, first up we've got the map here for the Battle of Ryzen. This is one that takes place in 1809 south of Warsaw. It's a contingent of Austrians were trying to wipe out the sort of newly founded Duchy of Warsaw, and the Polish put up a good fight here at Ryzen, and so they're able to fight another day and maintain their army. So this battle was originally sort of available on the Marshal Enterprise website as a print and play scenario and game. And so you can, I don't know that it's there anymore. They've included it now in this one, this 1809 series So it's got a better treatment than what you might have had if you were to download this yourself. The general gist of what's going to be happening is here's the little town of Ryzen. The river that runs along here, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's happening here in the spring. They've got a lot of flooding that's going on, so the Austrians are only able to cross at some of these different causeways to get through this sort of swampy area. And so the Prussians are on the northern side of the river, preventing the Austrians from getting across. And so there's a lot of artillery duels that are happening and combat, and sort of the Austrians try to get across and they get pushed back. So it's a fun game. I've played this particular battle several times with the copy that I had printed out a number of years ago. So this is definitely a fun little battle, a fun little scenario, and a challenge for anybody to play. Okay, looking at the next map, this is for another smaller battle. This is pretty much an all-cavalry battle. And this particular battle is, I'm going to butcher it, I'm sure, Alt-Gislofsheim, something like that. This is where the French are pursuing the Austrians after the Battle of Eggmuhl, and the Austrians have some cavalry, and they're kind of doing some screening, sort of as they're retreating. The French are trying to pursue, and then the Austrians are slowly phasing back towards the town of Altgeschlafsheim. This is a fun little scenario. I helped the gentleman at Marshal Enterprises play test this, and we played it quite a few times. It's a fun little one too, and I think we were able to get through the scenario in the space of, an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half. So it plays pretty quickly, and so it's a good one to do if you're just going to get together with a friend and try to bang out a game real quick. This might be a good choice for you. Now, here we're looking at the map for the Battle of Eggmuhl. This is a two-map battle, and there are scenarios that take place on just the western map, which is this one here, and then some scenarios that just take place on the eastern map, which is that one over there, and then there are a few that use both maps. The bulk of the combat that's going to be happening is going to be happening along here. There is this very substantial river that runs through the battlefield, and here's the little town of Eggmuhl. This is, of course, the sort of key for the Austrians. They're holding that and a number of other towns going up towards the north, where they'd been marching down. The idea for this particular engagement that the Austrians had was to try to catch Davout's corps before Napoleon could intervene and sort of damage or destroy the corps while the French were there. So the Austrians are trying to hold the river line. Napoleon and his various corps are coming in, some of them on this side, and the Austrians then are trying to prevent them from getting across. Meanwhile, then they're trying to do what they can against Davout on this side of the map, and then make a phased withdrawal. So there are different scenarios dealing with different elements of the battle, where you, as a French player, you're just maybe attacking in a particular section, or as the Austrian player, you're attacking in a particular area. There's also a hypothetical scenario where you are bringing on more reinforcements as the Austrians than what actually happened historically. This was sort of the Archduke's plan, but it's not one that was actually happened, but it was what he wanted to do, but not what actually took place. So a couple of different options for people, how they're going to play, and quite a large map altogether. usual sort of artwork and everything else that you're going to find on it, as with the other games from Marshal Enterprises. Now, those of you out there with a very astute eye will note that the two maps did not overlap very well, and that's because one or the other has not been trimmed. Marshal Enterprise is aware that the printers on some of the maps did not trim the edge properly, so they will, if you contact them, they'll either let you know how to take care of that or make some sort of arrangements to get you a new map. I'm not sure what their policy is, but I think I'd seen something on Facebook saying that they had a way to either help you out or to get you a new map if yours was not one of the ones that's trimmed. Apparently, the copy I got is missing the trim. That's easy enough for me to take care of. But if you get in touch with Marshal Enterprises, they can help you out with that. These things happen from time to time, and it's not the end of the universe. There you have it. So there is a look at the components in the La Bataille de Eggmuhl game. As many of you know that follow the channel, I regularly help out Marshal Enterprise and the folks over at Clash of Arms with playtesting of their games before they're published. So I did have a chance to play almost, in fact, all of the scenarios that are included in this particular series. And I can tell you that with the Battle of Eggmuhl, there's lots of very fun and very challenging scenarios, some that will take a longer period of time to play, that might be a good multiplayer type of game where you'd have, say, 2 players on each side. Others are great for just 2 players, and some that can be pared down and played in the course of an afternoon or an evening. So a little bit of everything for everybody. And I know that's something that Marshal Enterprises has been working on to try to let those folks out in the game community enjoy the game, knowing that they might not have the ability to set up something on their table or have it up there for a long period of time. So by having these smaller scenarios, you're really able to kind of get a feel for the game, play different portions of the battle, and have a good time. So that's about it for me. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave those below. If you enjoy the content, go ahead and hit the like button. And until our next episode, keep playing games, keep having fun, and be well.